You'd think the most famous play ever written would start with a bang, right? A king, a grand speech, something epic. Well, not Hamlet. Today, we're going to dig into how Shakespeare kicks off this massive tragedy, not with a declaration, but with a whisper in the dark and a polished lie told in the bright light of the court. So, yeah, forget any ideas about royal processions. Hamlet throws us right onto a cold, dark castle wall. And the very first line, a jumpy guard asking, "Who's there?" Just two words, but man, they tell you everything you need to know. We are instantly dropped into a world of fear, of paranoia. It's Shakespeare's way of shouting at us from the very beginning. Don't trust anyone. Nothing here is what it seems. So let's talk about that world of shadows, the darkness on those ramparts. It's not just about it being a nighttime, you know? It's this giant blinking sign that the whole country of Denmark is sick. It's corrupt. You've probably heard that famous line, "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark." Well, we feel that rottenness from the very first scene. And then the ghost shows up. Now, you'd expect the guards to be freaked out, of course, but the guy we really need to watch is Horatio. He's Hamlet's best friend, the scholar, the rational one, the guy who doesn't believe in this stuff. And he is absolutely terrified. That's huge, because he knows this isn't just some spooky campfire story. Nope, this is a terrible omen, a sign that the whole state is about to erupt into chaos. Okay, so we're in this dark, paranoid, spooky world, and then bam, Shakespeare just yanks us right out of it. Suddenly, we're not on the cold ramparts anymore. We're in the middle of a bright, fancy, super formal royal court. The change is so sudden, it's like getting whiplash. And trust me, that's exactly what Shakespeare wanted. And you have to listen, really listen, to how the new king, Claudius, talks. This guy is a pro. His first big speech is a masterclass in political spin. He's using all this flowery, elegant language to basically say, yeah, my brother, the old king, just died, which is sad. But look, I married his wife, your queen, so everything's great. It's all a performance, a carefully crafted lie to paper over some very, very dark secrets. So what you're seeing here is Shakespeare setting up two completely different versions of Denmark. You've got the one on the surface, the bright, polished court where everything seems totally under control. And then you've got what's underneath, that dark, scary world on the ramparts, full of ghosts and dread. It's the classic theme, right? Appearance versus reality, in action. But this contrast, it's not just about what things look like, it's about what they sound like. The language itself is a huge clue. Like we just heard with Claudius, the way people talk in this play tells you everything. Who they are, what they want, and how much power they have. In Hamlet's world, words are weapons. So how does he show us this power? Well, one of his biggest tools is something called blank verse. All you really need to know is that it's a kind of high-status, poetic way of talking. It has a rhythm to it. So when you hear a character speaking in blank verse, like Claudius, it's a signal. It says, I'm educated, I'm important, I'm in control. Or at least I'm trying to look like I am. And you can see how this breaks down. Claudius uses that fancy blank verse to manipulate everybody. The guards on the wall, they speak in much simpler language, sometimes even prose, which is basically just normal everyday talking. It shows they're not part of the elite. But Hamlet? Oh, Hamlet's on another level. He plays with language. He uses puns and wordplay to mess with people, to hide what he's really thinking in plain sight. It's his secret weapon in a court that's built on lies. But what happens when you can't trust words at all? When even the most clever language falls apart? Well, that's where the ghost comes in. This mysterious figure bridges those two worlds, the scary ramparts and the fake court. And it creates the biggest problem in the whole play. It forces Hamlet and all of us to face a massive moral and religious crisis. So yeah, the million-dollar question, what is this thing? Is it a good spirit or is it an evil demon? Hamlet himself asks this very question. And for us, it might just seem like a spooky thought. But for Shakespeare's audience, oh man, this was a huge deal. They were living through a massive religious upheaval, the Protestant Reformation. Figuring out what a ghost was could literally be a matter of saving or damning your eternal soul. Now, the ghost itself gives us a pretty big clue. It says it has to walk the night until its crimes are burnt and purged away. That language, purged, comes straight from the Catholic idea of purgatory, a place where souls go to be cleansed of their sins before they can go to heaven. Sounds straightforward, right? Well, here's the massive problem. Hamlet takes place in Protestant Denmark.
And that is the absolute core of Hamlet's problem. As a good Protestant, and he even went to university in Wittenberg, where the Reformation started, he shouldn't believe in purgatory. In his religion, it doesn't exist. So if it's not a soul from purgatory, what is it? From a Protestant point of view, there's only one other option. It's a demon. A demon sent from hell, pretending to be his dad, specifically to trick him into damning his own soul.
So, you see the trap he's in? It's impossible. The ghost tells him, "Avenge my murder." But how can he possibly act on that command when the thing giving it might be a demon from the pits of hell? Seriously, put yourself in his shoes. What would you do? This is why Hamlet hesitates. From the second he lays eyes on that ghost, he is completely paralyzed by this fundamental uncertainty. Is that you, Dad, asking for justice? Or are you a devil trying to trick me into going to hell? He has no way of knowing for sure. And that uncertainty is the real reason for his famous delay. So let's get this straight. People always talk about Hamlet hesitating, like it's a character flaw, like he's just weak or indecisive. But it's not. It's actually the only sane, rational response to an unthinkable situation. Think about it. If he kills the king, he commits murder and treason. He could damn his own soul for eternity. And if the ghost is a demon, then he's just done exactly what it wanted. The stakes couldn't possibly be higher. And that's it. That's the unsolvable puzzle at the very heart of this tragedy. Is the ghost a wronged father or a lying demon? Is the command for revenge a righteous duty or a satanic trap? Hamlet can never, ever know for sure. His entire life, his sanity, his very soul, it all hangs on this question. Which leaves us with a pretty chilling thought, doesn't it? In a world so full of shadows and lies, how can any of us really be sure we're doing the right thing?